Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Okay, so today is it's November 1st, 2021. It's kind of at the end of the day. Did quite a bit of grinding on the next couple batches of knives, and made some really nice, I got myself a new the EDC pattern that I made a while back. Only this one's in 416 layer, 1095 and 15N20, and some of that cottonwood burl. It's my new tester. Playing around with an heirloom handle fit. It's where you fit up the handle, and then you break all the corners of the tang and the handle material, and then you epoxy the handle together and go ahead and peen it. And what that does is there's always going to be a little bit of a gap in there, but the gaps are rounded off so that as the handle material, as it expands and shrinks, you never get that sharp feeling of either the handle material or the tang on your fingertips. You know, I mean, I've heard about it before. I've never done it before, so I thought, well, you know, it's about time for a new tester anyway, so I'll go ahead and do that. So, you know, that's on my hip now, and I guess we'll see how it does over the next 6 months or a year or so. But right now what I'm doing is I'm banding up a new slingshot. There's 6 of them over there, and I'll talk about them here in a second, but one thing I do before I ship these, or before I put them up on the shelf for sale anyways, this is the Barred Rock slingshot. This is I haven't decided what to call it yet. Maybe I'll just call it a wide cup one or something, because I made some changes to the fork tips. But anyway, I'll band them up with a practice bands, and then I'll go ahead and I'll take 5 shots at the catch box down there. Usually it's 5 out of 5. On camera, I don't know, maybe we'll get 3 out of 5 if we're lucky. But anyway, I'm not too sure how it's going to show up on the big screen, but if you look, well, that's not, we need a pointer here. We'll grab a pencil. Okay, so, alright, there's the catch box. And right there in the middle, there's a white dot, and that's, I want to say it's an 80 mil spinner. And then just above it, it's one of those cool looking duck heads, I think is what they call it, from Simple Shot. So anyway, so I usually like to band these up and then take a couple of test shots just to make sure that everything's okay before I ship them off. There's one. Oh, it moved, so does that count as a hit? That's 2. Three. This is a little bit tougher because to get the fork tips in the shot there so that you get to see them, I've kind of got to squat or really widen my stance out. 3. This is also this is the longest I can shoot here in the shop. So from where I'm standing right now to the target is about 14 meters. 4. Uh-oh, that's 4 for 4. We probably ought to miss this one, right? 5 for 5. Maybe we'll take 2 shots on the duck, and then we'll go over the changes I made to this particular batch. And plus, this is just an awful lot of fun, you know. I mean, you guys get to buy these things, but I get to play with them first. Did you see him flop around in there? I think from the way he acted, I think I just barely caught the bottom edge of him. There we go. That was a good I think right in the noggin. Okay, so anyways, so these here are the latest batch. You know, the first design that I made was or that I made for sale was the barred rocks. Okay, this is, I mean, it's heavily, I mean, it's a goblet design. Everybody keeps saying it's like that Caddyshack's Evo goblet, which, you know, the Evo, if you look at his video where he introduced it, he said he just took a goblet and then he made a couple of changes to it and then called it the Evo goblet. Well, I've never held one. One of them that I made, one of my first testers, it looked really close to it. What it had more of a curve right here, and what I found was that I really didn't care for that all that much, because it would, you know, I mean, I back pocket carry my slingshot, and if you have too much of a curve right there, then if you keep the ammo and the slingshot in the same pocket, what'll happen is you'll go to pull your slingshot out to go take a shot at something, and that will act as a hook, and it'll scoop up a handful of you know, your ammo and spill it all over the floor. So I tapered that out quite a bit more so it wouldn't do that. But anyway, so this was the first one, and you know, I mean, it's got you know, pretty wide fork tips and a pretty small gap here. I should probably grab a tape measure. And this right here, I mean, the one that I was carrying, I've got mine over there somewhere. This is one of the ones for sale. You know, it's an awesome frame. I mean, I was carrying this around quite a bit. It works really great during the summertime, you know, when you're wearing shorts and a muscle shirt almost all the time. Well, these things are, you know, I mean, they're made out of multiplex, you know, so they don't weigh hardly anything at all. And so they're really easy to throw into a pocket. During the winter months, you know, where you're wearing jeans, you're shooting a little bit heavier ammo, you know, a little bit heavier slingshot kind of helps out when you're hunting, you know, to kind of tame the recoil on heavier bands. And, you know, typically you're wearing heavier clothing or a coat, something like that, where you can throw a little bit heavier slingshot into a pocket. So what I did, I decided that well, I started playing around with different bands and everything, and come to find out I really like the 20 to 25 mil cut. I start them over 210 millimeters, I think. Yeah, so 21 centimeters. And I just vary the thickness for different bands. So, well, except for the target bands, these are, oh, what were these? 15 to 20 by 210. So this one right here is the one I've been carrying lately because rabbit season is open. And so this is 0.76 thick GZK, cut 20 to 25, and I think this is 215 to start with. And I've been using this for 11 mil steel. Now, when I made this slingshot, this is still another test on the whole clip design, and I'm really close to getting that to release it. But anyways, I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, why on earth am I putting, you know, 30 mil wide tips on these things? Yeah, 30 mil wide tips on these, when, you know, the widest band that I like to use is 25 mil at the fork tip. Plus, you know, these are supposed to be beginner slingshots. Well, beginners, the less frame you have and the more open the cup is, you know, the less likely you're going, I mean, the less of the frame there is to hit, you know, if your grip isn't right, or if you're, you know, if you're twisting your pouch, you know, either kinking it or twisting it, you know, there's less frame there for the ball to hit to make a fork hit. So what I did on these was I pretty much kept the outside width at, I think it's 90-ish. This one's 97 mil wide, and it should have 26 to 27 mil fork tips, and it's got a 43 millimeter wide cup. So the tips are quite a bit narrower, 5 mil or so, and it lets us get a much more open cut. Also on this particular one right here, I went with I didn't torch it quite as much, and I used a natural Danish oil instead of a walnut colored Danish oil. So, and honestly cut a little bit closer or into the lines on the pattern, so it's a little bit smaller, slightly smaller frame. You know, probably just by a millimeter or two, but anyways, yeah, so pretty much what I came, you know, this is the newest version, and it is pretty much identical to what I'm carrying right now, only in a multiplex frame instead of a clipped frame that's made out of G10 and micarta. These will come out pretty soon. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and finish banding up all of these, and then you know, taking my test shots with all of them, and then probably snap pictures of them. They'll probably go up on the website tomorrow. This video will probably come out Saturday, so by the time the video comes out, they'll be on the website for you guys to order if you want one. So yeah. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to finish banding these up and taking my test shots, play with them a little bit, make sure they're good for you guys to, you know, so that when you get them, there's no problems. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.